Hello everybody on the other side. I've been asked to say a few words. It's been some time since we met. And there are some changes in the world, as you all know. So I'm asked to say a few things. So for me also it was a bit of a change because I was in eastern Nepal, a remote area without any internet connection. And after a few weeks coming back to Kathmandu, then the whole world is more or less different than before. And in one way, it's a bit kind of a change we don't expect, and a change we don't like to face or like to deal with. Yeah, but that's the nature of our being. That's the nature of samsara, so to say. That things are in the nature of impermanence. So we always grasp at permanence. So yeah, before you know it, things change. But that's the nature. And yeah, for me also was a bit stressed out, I was a bit shaken up, not only from the 8-hour drive by car over the mountains, which actually caused more fear falling off the cliff than actually the coronavirus caused fear in my mind up to now. But yeah, coming back in Kathmandu and seeing the news, talking with people, then yeah, things changed. Flights got cancelled and rebooked got cancelled again. So it was a kind of an adventure, so to say, to come back to London. But yeah, now being here and facing the situation again, and then try to do some retreats. And now there's kind of free time, so to say. Then I also noticed that these things like a virus can kill beings, which is very sad, and of course we have to do prayers for them. But it can stop our life, it can stop our body to function, or we can get sick. But it doesn't really affect the mind. That's in our hands. So how to deal with it mentally is a different thing, right? So then also what struck me, to see our destructive emotions and the afflictions that come up, that is actually more a fearful thing than just stopping your life, because we have died so many times, right? So and then we start a new life. When I was in Marathika, in the place in eastern Nepal in retreat, then also I talked with the Lobun there, and he said, yeah, there were many epidemics in Tibet before, and yeah, if it's your time, it's your time. So it's kind of karma related, right? So of course there's a risk group, but it doesn't pervade 100% that only people in that risk group, they being affected by it or not. Yeah, so also other causes and conditions play a role, like karma. So in that way, it gives an opportunity to think about impermanence. It gives an opportunity to think about karma. It gives you an opportunity to come closer to people, because I think, especially these days, people think about each other more because we're all facing the same problem. If we're facing the same problem, people get together, you know. So in that way, it's a kind of opportunity to walk together and to respect each other and to think about the kindness of others. Always we like to criticize governments and politicians, but now we're working all together and thinking about all those people who put their own life at risk to help the community to survive. The people in the healthcare, the people in the hospitals, is incredible. So if you think from many angles to generate, you know, a thought of the drawbacks of samsara, as well as reflecting upon the suffering of others and seeing the kindness of others as well, and seeing we also interconnected, then it gives incredible opportunity to use this particular period where we cannot do anything about at the moment. If you can't really solve the problem, so to say, then there's no point in worrying about it, because those worries only makes it mentally more difficult. So if you put it into practice and try to think about you know, impermanence and death and the drawbacks of samsara, generate compassion for those who are those difficulties. Of course, we all face difficulties. People lose jobs, people, you know, it's difficult. It's a difficult time. But here in the UK, I think in the Western world, quite well off compared to people in other countries. You think about people who don't have a place to stay at the moment, or don't even have food and forget washing your hands, you know. So we think about others in that way, gives the opportunity to generate compassion for others. So in that way, it gives incredible opportunities to practice, or to think about. Well, we cannot solve the problem at the moment, so then the only thing that is left is our mind. Yeah? So being in isolation, or being in this lockdown, you know, is a kind of opportunity to think about things. Yeah. So some of the masters of the past, for example, Kyabche Chödre Rinpoche, spent 19 years in a room in Lhasa, in Tibet, in occupied Tibet, when it was dangerous to go out because of the Chinese occupation. And he spent 19 years in one room. And he got the realizations of the Lamrim as well as the Vajrayana path. So if you see it in that way, you have incredible opportunity to think about things. And then you will prevent a lot of mental suffering. So, of course, there's a lot of physical suffering is present, but mental suffering can be dealt with. Yeah? So there's a lot of prayers been advised by His Holiness Dalai Lama, reciting Tara prayers, for example, and a Tara mantra, and Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Kandola. They compiled the kind of different practices that can be done. So if we cannot change a particular situation, actually, then prayer will help. So not only for your own kind of confidence or for your own kind of doing something about it, but also everything is related in law of cause and effect. So if we create causes for something to happen, then there's a result that will come. So if we create causes like that doing these practices, and it's very moving prayers as well, but actually when I started doing them, it moves the mind, right? It generates kind of positive states of mind, and that's all we need, right? That's the things we like to develop for the future. So yeah, stay safe, I would say, and and try to put these things into practice, and then probably we meet again after some time, probably soon. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.